welcome. My name is Edshara, and today I'm going to be sharing with you what I've read so far this month for middle grade May. I've done pretty good with sticking to my TBR, so let me show you what I've read. The first book is The Half-True Lies of Cricket Cohen by Catherine Lloyd Burns, and this was a 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. I loved Cricket as a character. I thought that she was fun and intelligent. She was a little naive, but she did grow as the story progressed. I really enjoyed her relationship with her grandma Dodo. It was nice that they had one another, just because I think both of them were very misunderstood by the people around them. So it was nice that they had one another to lean on and to support. I also really enjoyed that the author shared with the reader why Cricket chose to tell half-true lies instead of just sticking to facts. It was nice that Cricket got to share her opinion and her reasoning behind why she did what she did. I do think that this is the perfect book for those of you who interact with older adults, just because not everyone ages the same, and this book was a good look at that. Then I have The Trials of Morgan Crow, the first book in the Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend, and this was another 4 or 5-star read. I really enjoyed this one. I know it has some comparisons to, I think, Harry Potter, but I think this book is unique enough to stand on its own. It is a long read, not just in terms of length because it is over 400 pages, but just in terms of the fact that the author is very detailed and very descriptive. She lays Nevermore out for you, and it's such a nice look at the world and how it works and how people interact. So while it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to read this, I'm still very glad for all of the details and the descriptions. I also really liked the characters. I liked that Morgan grew as the book progressed. I think that her low self-esteem lasted a little longer than I wanted to, but I'm still glad that we got to see her progress and we got to see her mindset change, especially regarding herself. I also really liked her interaction with Jupiter. I thought that he was a very good paternal character, even though he's not Morgan's father. He was very supportive and very caring, and it was nice to see their relationship grow as the book progressed. I would definitely recommend this book, and I cannot wait to continue the series. Then I have 100 Cupboards by N.D. Wilson, and this was a 3-star read for me, and I think most of that had to do with I kind of wanted there to be more exploration and adventuring in these different worlds that they found behind all of these cupboards. And while there was some exploration, most of that was just to kind of solve this problem that occurred. So that was a bit of a letdown for me personally, but I really did enjoy how welcoming and accepting everybody was of Henry. I loved that his aunt and uncle, you know, kind of encouraged him to explore and to interact with his peers and to try new things. That was fun to see. And there were some things that occurred in this book that weren't necessarily resolved, so I definitely plan on continuing the series, but this one was just okay for me. Then I have Unstoppable Octobia May by Sharon G. Flake, and this was another 3-star read for me, and most of that had to do with execution. I felt like the writing style was a little bit choppy. The transition between dialogue and narration wasn't always smooth, and sometimes it got confusing as to, you know, who's talking, or, you know, is this just the narrator telling us more of the story? So that was, it took a little bit to get used to that. But overall, the plot is really good. I think it tackles a subject or a topic that I haven't really seen too many people write about. So that was really fascinating, and I wasn't expecting a lot of what went on in this book, just because I don't think that the synopsis properly prepares you for what this book is actually about. So while I only gave it 3 stars, I would still definitely recommend this. Just know that it might take you a little bit to settle into the story. And the next book that I have is the first in the Mice of the Round Table series, A Tale of Camelot by Julie Leung. And I told you guys in my TBR video that this was right up my alley, so it should be no surprise that I gave this one 5 stars. I loved it. It was so well written. It was fast-paced and action-packed. It deals with family and friendship and community. I think the only thing I didn't like, but it's not just this book that does it, it's a lot of books. I don't understand why the hero or the main protagonist always has to have such a very tragic backstory in order to be brave or to be a hero. I don't like that. But other than that, this book was right up my alley and I loved every minute of it. Next up, I have Wizard Match by Lauren Magaziner. And if you don't remember, this one had to deal with the magical competition, and whoever wins gets all these powers instead of just one power for the rest of their life. So I really enjoyed seeing all of the conflict that arose during this competition. It was nice to see some of that drama, even, you know, especially within a family. It was also nice to see Lenny kind of get to be angry. I think sometimes in middle grade literature, you know, you have these young characters who experience this very deep hurt or this very deep frustration, and even though they're sad about it or angry about it, it's just kind of like they fall in line and, you know, everything ends up rosy. And so it was nice to see that Lenny got to be angry because her anger was justified. She had a right to be upset with the way that things were happening, and all of her actions were not the most respectful, but I was glad that we got to see a middle grade character express all of that. And yes, there were consequences, and she did have to kind of come to terms with her, you know, actions, and I thought it was good to see that entire process pan out within this book. So this was a 4-star read for me. I would definitely recommend it, and I can't wait to get to some of the other Lauren Magaziner books that I have on my want to read shelf, because this was pretty well written. Then I have Like Vanessa by Tammy Charles, and y'all, this book was amazing. 5-star read, one of my favorites of the year. It'll definitely be a favorite forever. It was as if Tammy Charles found an old childhood journal and started writing a story around it. My situation or my experiences were not completely the same as Vanessa's in the book, but I related so much to this character and to the things that she was experiencing and feeling. There were tears shed during the reading of this book. I wanted to share so many quotes with you guys, but some of them were spoilery, and it would have just been easier to tell you guys to just read it. I need to buy this to put it in my collection, and I will hopefully be doing that very soon. I cannot express to you just how good this book was. You know, how relatable it is, especially for me. Please read this. Please give it a chance. I think you'll love it. It was so good. So good. And then my last book is A Different Pond by Bao Fi, and illustrated by, there's tape on it, sorry guys, that was distracting, and illustrated by Thi Bui. And this was a 3-star read for me. I think I hyped it up too much in my head. I think I was expecting a little bit more. I enjoyed the illustrations. I thought the ones, especially within the house, were very detailed and very reflective of the Vietnamese culture. But it was just okay. It wasn't the greatest story. You don't learn too much. But I do think it would be a great introduction to immigration or Vietnamese culture for a child. but I don't think it was as good as I was expecting, but I did still enjoy it. So 3 stars. And that's it for what I've read so far. I still have a couple of books. Oddity by Sarah Cannon. If I can, I'm going to try and renew this. I like the plot and I like the characters, but the writing style doesn't really draw you in. It kind of pushes me out of the story a little bit. So I've been reading this for like a week now, and I'm only on page... what am I on? I'm only on page 80, which is chapter 10. So I'm going to see if I can renew this so I can give it another chance. Hopefully some time off between sessions with this book will maybe give me a different perspective. But if not, this will just be a DNF. And then I'm also going to see if I can renew The Mighty Miss Malone by Christopher Paul Curtis, because I would like to still read this one, as well as the second book in the Mice of the Round Table series, which is Voyage to Avalon. So hopefully I can renew those to get to them later in the month. But that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And until next time, guys, God bless. Bye. By a tale. Oh, okay.